Welcome to The Solution, a real estate podcast where Phil Sexton and
Jeff Seabuck
are talking about ways that we can put the consumer first in real estate, which we feel is going to be the next or the current big wave. And we do things on this show like sometimes we bring real life stories from the road. Sometimes we bring Jeff Seabuck negotiation stories from the living room. And other times we bring industry leaders from around the country to join us and share what they're doing to run their teams and have industry leaders.
Because it would be boring if it was just us all the time. We got a
rock
star.
We can talk to the mirror all day long,
Yes.
But other people get bored.
Well,
Yes.
whenever we bring on stars like we have today, there's a spike up because he deserves it.
Because they've heard our story.
Yes,
Let's hear from others. And today I am super excited because if there's anybody that I have seen prove the run a team remotely model, it is John Gluch with Platinum Living Realty. Let's bring him on the air. John Gluch, welcome to the show.
Hey.
Let me see. Mauricio,
Hey.
is he with us? What direction is he? Is he this way?
Oh,
he's
he's over there.
John,
Hey,
welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
There you are. Good to see you. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Absolutely. How are you? So
Can you tell everybody about how good John is?
So John, who I got a few stats for you,
Or the
John,
Gluch
and
group,
feel
right?
free to fill in any of the blanks. But he basically got started in real estate in 2003, and he started the Gluch Group in 2015. And so 5 years in, last year they've got 3 agents, about a dozen admin, and last year they sold 190 houses for $80 million. In the Metro Phoenix marketplace.
Golf club. I mean,
Outstanding.
Yeah, spectacular.
And
the
the
true
whole-
leader in the industry.
And in 2016, he moved to San Diego and he lives on Coronado Island, and he's selling all of that business.
Kind
here.
of like a nanny. I can do it from over here. To compliment him though, because isn't that what everybody wants to do? So that's why I'm so excited to hear from him today, because
teach us.
Yeah, please embark. Tell us your ways.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on, guys. It's awesome. And just so thankful for my amazing team. Obviously, literally, without them, I could not do it. It could be hard to sell houses in Arizona, not living there. So have a great team. Very thankful for them. And it's been a fun ride.
But I mean, I think, sorry, I have a lot of opinions, but I think it was your epic rise and present, like how strong, because to me, there's kind of a part in growing a team where you got to kind of punch it through to rise above. And then when you get it up, then it becomes a little easier to maintain, only because like signs in the ground, that kind of thing, web presence, all that, once it's built, you get some staying power. So I thought that your, obviously amazing good looks and brilliant smile and your strength that you came on was brilliant. So tell us about it.
Thanks. I mean, like the formula, it's easy to say it, make it sound simple looking backward, but so it obviously isn't quite this simple. But when I think about what it was that allowed us to have success quickly, I think it was 3 things. Really, I'll add a 4th bonus one. The 4th is that I built a company and it failed in the real estate investing days with the real estate market. I bought all these rental houses. That all failed. I short sale all these homes. Didn't go bankrupt, but got close. And there's something about failing early that helps you humble you and helps you appreciate things in a different way. So that I think was really valuable. But I think the part that really helped us grow when I kind of restarted was, 1, I had good coaching. I was a part of Craig Proctor's coaching program, and that was super, super helpful. I don't know how you do this without a coach. 2 was we really early caught on to the idea of branding online. So very early, I started getting reviews and developing my online reputation, and I was one of the first people to really do that well, and that helped us grow very quickly. And then 3rd was team. I hired from the very beginning amazing people who were so helpful and so good and just A-team players that helped me scale it so much faster than I ever could have. So some luck in there, great team, and some great coaching. I think really were the keys to growing as quickly as we did.
I love that you said branding online.
Yeah.
That is, I mean, one of your Yelp profile. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you do a ton of research in different marketplaces on how other top guys do it. Do you go out to other people's Yelp profiles and be like, well, there's one that's better than mine?
Yeah, I mean, early on we did. Now, once you kind of figure it out, you know what the animal is. Although they changed the game on you. Yeah, Yelp is it's great, but it gives and it takes. This was probably a year ago where 50 or so of our 5-star reviews disappeared. And, I'm like wetting my pants, like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? So, and they just changed the game when they want to change the game. It's their platform, not mine. So you have to be careful about it. But yeah, from the very beginning, I started looking around early on when no one was really doing this in other markets that were ahead of us, and found people who were doing a good job and copied them. And then, eventually you sort of figure it out. But, yeah.
But to me, I think it's understated how, because we struggled with the Yelp profiles and why we went away from it, meaning to give him credit because he just stuck to it. And therefore now I think, it helped your market presence because
it's hard to get 150 5-star reviews on Yelp. And you got 153 or 100 more than that, something like that.
We have 400. Yelp decides to show 150 of them. Which is their
exactly. Okay, so then you're with me, right? Yeah, no, it's because as we were sending Yelp reviews, we're like, wait a minute, it's hard enough to get somebody to review you once, let alone twice or 3 times on different websites. Like,
and if they're filtering them out, it's just disheartening.
Yeah,
it is. It totally is. Yeah, you just got to pick. I think for me, it was a focus early on, and so I chose to just stick at it and be good. And I was early. I mean.
Did you do advertising on Yelp as well with that?
Yeah, back and forth, and I go back and forth on whether it works or not. It's very difficult to measure when you're in my position where we're number one in most markets. How much does the advertising really matter? It's very hard to tell, and we're pretty good at tracking, and we still don't know. So yes,
do you track it in your CRM? I mean, we're trying to now, but I'm just curious.
Oh yeah. I mean, I could tell you how many people on Yelp clicked on my profile, how many looked at pictures, how many pushed, get directions. We've got all that, and we track it every week. Yeah.
I was more of when one of your 3 agents is going out on a listing appointment or a buyer appointment, is the first question they ask, what was the biggest thing that led you to coming to us? Did you ask a question like that to record that as well, or just the stats from Yelp?
Right. When people call, our people who answer the phones for us, they always find out right away where the lead came from. So we ask, one of the first things we ask, and then of course, if they're emailing or messaging us, we can tell right away. We also have phone numbers that track on all of our different lead platforms. It's different phone numbers so that we know if they call from Facebook or whatever, we know that's where they called us from. So that helps too.
All right. So just coming from the real world side of this, right? You've got a phone call that comes through your Facebook number. They mention your Yelp reviews and say that their friend referred you. How do you track who gets credit?
Yeah, that's so hard to say. We don't normally get that nuanced. Typically, people just give one answer, and that answer typically is the number they called, like the most recent thing they interacted with, and that's the one that we give the credit to.
Yeah, it's hard because we get a lot of credit. We give a lot of credit to our website because that's the phone number that people call. And then when you get there and you realize that you're either 3 doors down of the house you just sold, or they say, oh, and I happen to know so-and-so who is, a past client or whatnot. Yeah. That piece of the tracking, I think, in our industry is as much as we want. I'm a high C. I like things to be correct, accurate, compliant, but there's a rule of 8 that goes into it. And as long as we're 80% accurate, then that's good enough for a lot of the marketing metrics that we use.
Right. Yep.
And so with your comments about Yelp being, on and off and whatnot, is that going to be a cornerstone of your growth because you guys just started the Gluch Group San Diego.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it won't be. It would be so hard to catch the guys who are ahead of me here. So no, the main part, like all the deals we've done here so far have been sphere of influence deals, right? So like people from my church, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that really is everything we bring in from Yelp, we try to consider kind of bonus. And then our goal with those folks is to turn them into raving fans of ours. And so all the stuff that we're doing in the Gluch Group, I'm replicating here in terms of repeat and referral business. So all the branding. So we'll be heavy online. I mean, we'll start branding right away. We create Yelp profiles, all that stuff. but that will mostly be for reputation management, meaning if someone Googles us, we look great. So that's the goal.
So then pushing it more towards Google first than doing Yelp.
Yeah. Here
We have a tremendous amount of Google reviews as well. I mean, we seem to have gone more towards Zillow out of the gate for obvious reasons, and we've done some we've pushed people to Google, but we don't. I think you have more Google reviews than we do. So
yeah, I think 80 was the last number I saw. I saw 70 Realtor.com reviews. I mean, it's always interesting, right? Because everybody, I think, team leaders have to pick the top 3. Like, where are the top 3?
Where do you want to go?
You want people to leave you reviews.
Yeah.
And it's interesting just to see where yours are being. It appears that it's Yelp, Realtor.com, and Google.
Yeah. And it's so much strategy. For everyone, it's going to be different. The reason we're starting with Google here is because we don't have a lot of home sales. To look good on Zillow, you have to have a lot of home sales. So whereas with Google, you can look good without any home sales. So because we have a good reputation already, it's easier for that. So it really depends on the position the agents are in, where they are.
How about Facebook? Do you use the reviews in there with the same strategy because of Google?
We don't do anything on Facebook. They not because I've evaluated it and decided it's a bad idea. It's just that just hasn't been a focus. So it could be it's really smart. I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but
no, I just meant because the point was you don't have to have a lot of sales to have Facebook reviews. Right. I mean, same as theory.
That's true. Yeah. So you kind of got to pick like your strength, and what you have time for. There's only so much time in a day, This works for me because I get to spend a lot of time on it, and we have a lot of people who know, like, and trust us. That's difficult to do if you're just,
And but having a big 3 though, Yelp, Google, and Realtor.com is a fabulous strategy, though. Obviously. Yeah.
I mean, I think so. It's working great. And then Google is its own animal too. There's a lot of nuance to that. It's different than Yelp, but there really are a bunch of little needles and levers you can pull to get good at showing up on Google. And we are just at the front end of tackling that beast. I think I got a lot of work to do there still. We had a lot of reviews, but it's more than just reviews. It's not like Yelp, where reviews is all that matters.
Right. Yeah, it's led by the reviewer. Google wants content.
Yeah, exactly. And that, as you know, that takes so much time.
Oh, it's an investment. We started with what we call phase 1 in 2012, and we're getting to phase 3 now, and it's just been a monster to penetrate, just because the mass amount of real estate information out there. To have a presence, you really got to push it.
Yeah.
And with content that you put out, if you have a strategy to go through areas and it takes you 6 months to get through an area, and then you move on to a separate area, and it takes 6 months to get through that area, and then you go on to a separate area, you got to make sure that that what you're creating is as timeless as possible.
Yeah.
Or it's future proof as possible. And you don't want to get into the years, or you don't want to get into these sales numbers, because next thing you know, you're 12 months down the road and the stuff is all outdated, and you got to go back and redo it before you even got to covering the entire area of what you're trying to cover.
Well, yeah, especially, or even like house prices, right? Because who knows what the house prices are going to be like, if you say starting at this or starting at that or capped at that. Yeah, pretty funny.
Yeah. So you mentioned sphere of influence and having trust with the people that you know. I know that you have 2 children, right? Ages 4 and 6.
Yeah.
And so do you do like community sponsored events to help meet new people, to help build your sphere, or how do you tackle that business?
Yeah. So I'm a big proponent of focus. So for us, I came from an organization called Young Life. I grew all through high school and in college. I was involved with Young Life. It's a youth ministry, Christian organization for young people. And I had a lot of momentum there. I knew a lot of people. And so rather than focus on a specific community, like we're going to sponsor Arcadia baseball or whatever, we've chosen to really focus on that niche of people, Young Life folks. And so we sponsor a lot of their fundraising activities, golf tournaments, bike races, that kind of stuff. So we're kind of the realtor, although there are many realtors associated with Young Life, like probably hundreds.
Yeah.
There aren't many whose names are on more shirts than ours, because we've really chosen to dive deep into all those relationships. Yeah. Because I love it. For me, it's like, I'm going to give money to them anyways. So why not sponsor their event?
Why not let the company pay for it?
Yeah. Why not, sponsor their event? And they're my kind of people. Like I've earned my trust there. I spent 10 years volunteering for them. They know me. And so the fact that I kind of sewed into that organization for so long, it makes it easier to really ramp up. Plus, all my agents are involved with Young Life. So for me, I just picked that lane rather than a neighborhood lane. I picked that lane, which,
I love the pitch. I mean, that's beautiful. I didn't know that about you, and
love the focus.
Focus of that. Yeah, no, because it's funny because we were niched in Greyhawk for a while, but the space became too competitive because I can't say, and I listen to a lot of podcasts, anyone talk about that. And congratulations for seeing the what we'll call white space opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. So well done.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. I think it's just finding something that you really believe in already, rather than trying to go to invent something new. For me, that's worked out pretty well.
Yes.
Well, we teach people because about farming, they always like, well, I want to farm over there, and I'm like, that doesn't work. But it goes exactly what your principal
live over there, and all your friends are over there, but then you want to go the opposite direction for your farm.
Yes.
Yeah. So like to make it practical, like for example, my church that now in San Diego, I've been here 3 years, right? So I'm newer here. So but that's still my focus because that's what I believe. My wife goes to their school of ministry. We're there several times a week. We're volunteering, we're giving, that's my zone. And so I think it's just picking again and we've already gotten, I think we did, I don't know, millions of dollars worth of business there last year. And I'm new here. I don't even have a license, so but people trust me because I'm earning the trust, right? I'm there.
Yeah, no, it's actually almost better because you're not, right? Like you're cementing these relationships, because I think that sometimes in real estate, people can lead too much with it,
right?
And then they feel like they're creating distrustful relationships because you're only doing it to be like when you hear I pick on like groups where you go there that you meet in that group just to get business from the other people there.
Networking groups,
right? Like where this is clearly more.
It's deep. It's
way deeper,
deeper than that.
Yeah.
We did a networking group, a real popular one, and I did not like it at all because there was so much pressure to refer people to the other people in the group who weren't always great. Like I just didn't want to trust our clients to people who weren't going to do a good job.
Experience, yeah.
It was just, I didn't like it at all. We quit real quick on that. Whereas this is more of a, I just think it's the way the world works, like reaping and sowing, right? It's like, if you're going to pour your heart and life and soul into an organization or a group of people or whatever, there's just benefit to that. It's going to come back to you. So for me, it's just a much more natural, congruent way of doing business.
I love it.
All right.
I want to, can we talk a little bit about what good coaching, which is what you mentioned as well?
Yeah.
So you were in Buffini coaching, you were in Proctor coaching. And actually, you still are a speaker, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I love coaching. Buffini was the tip of the iceberg for me. I didn't even know coaching existed until I found Brian Buffini. And that guy turned me on to Zig Ziglar and Darren Hardy and all these other people who've now just changed my life. Jim Rohn. Like I didn't know about any of that world at all. So to find the personal development world for me was just this like treasure trove. It was awesome. So I love Brian Buffini. I love the simplicity of it. I mean, he's a master presenter. He's a great guy. Craig Proctor was for me a huge win because his system was much more advanced than Brian's, and it really worked for me really well.
It's more real estate specific than, Brian's is more sales specific. Is that fair? I don't know.
It's like, it's just simple. It's how to get more business, but it's not a full business system. Whereas Craig's is a full business system. He teaches you how to run a business, everything, buyer presentation, seller presentation, everything you could possibly imagine, So, and then we don't do it exactly. Like we took a lot of what he taught us and then made it our own, but it was changed my life. I owe him a lot of my success. He's been fantastic. So, and now I just enjoy speaking and have a unique position selling all these houses from California. So that's interesting to people. And so I've got the opportunity to share that on stage. And I do a weekly little video that I shoot out to agents, just a 5-minute video on little tips and stuff. I love kind of sharing the things we've learned along the way, and hopefully it benefits other people.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that the Proctor tagline of if we don't sell your house,
your home's guaranteed or we'll buy it. Yeah,
we'll buy it. That seems to be the thing that sticks in most people, whether they stick with the coaching or not. That tagline obviously works.
Yeah, and it works. It works depending on the market. Right now, nobody's worried about their house selling, right?
Right.
So true. That addresses a fear that doesn't exist right now. So what we're switching to in this market is your home sold at 100% of asking price, or we'll pay you the difference. So, but just the idea of having a guarantee and a unique selling proposition. Most agents don't have that. You know, Craig taught me how to copyright, how to make offers, how to make call to actions. I mean, just fundamental marketing principles that no one else was teaching me, you know.
Awesome. Love it. And so you were with him for years or a year?
Yeah, like 3-4 years. And the only reason I stopped was because it was in a season where I couldn't travel. And so going to the conferences was impractical. And so but you know, I still love that organization. I'm sure I'll be involved with them in the future too.
So then you obviously, I don't want to say obviously because I don't know, do you coach your individual 3 agents like on a weekly basis? Is that 15 minutes? Is it a half hour? Is it an hour? Or is it once a month? Right.
Yeah. I mean, the guys we have now are they're just pros. I mean, so there's not a ton of coaching left to do with them. We have grown slowly at the Gluch Group because relatively, we didn't bring people on at a split. Every agent we had, we paid a salary to, and all the business was provided to them by marketing that I've done. Now they've gotten a little better at generating their own business, and so they're generating their own repeat and referral business. And
do you have a different split for that for them, or
yeah. So if they get their own business, they get their own. It's a different split for that. You know, that's obviously them bringing value to the team in a new way. What we just now, in fact, today, I'm going to announce and start marketing that we're growing our team a more traditional way now, where we're bringing on people at a split. So like a more traditional team has done. So we've never done that, and we're just
I was interesting because one of my thoughts originally, just watching you grow, because I don't know if you knew this about me, but I just love team structure. I love the different models. With the salary based, what I heard on the Daily Dose was just so different. And I just wondered if that, because Redfin has a model like that, not a lot like that, but just similar, where they're employees. Yeah. But I just wondered if there was going to be a cap to the growth. Do you think that was part of,
so why is he going from employee model to
perfect
independent contractor model?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So yes, I mean, you can only go so fast that way because you have to generate all the business for that to work. Whereas if you've got an employee split model, then you're going to grow a lot faster. No question about it. Yeah.
Interesting. I would love to talk to you more about the employee model, just because it's something that we've talked about. And you guys, I mean, Jeff listens to a lot of industry podcasts. Like,
hey guys, give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. This is crappy for live video, but my thing's gonna die. Let me grab a charger. It'll take me 2 seconds.
Wait, we're good.
You are worth the wait.
So sorry. Hang on.
And this commercial is brought to you by Jeff Seabach, and the fact that I thought that Brian Colhane would like the fact that I had short sleeves on today. Because remember he said one time he just wants us to switch shirts where you wear a button down and I wear.
We would have to plan that though.
I know. Well, I decided to wear short sleeves.
Well,
today,
I mean, we could do
just
it
to give him a different look. That's for you, Brian.
All right. So if you're out there listening and you think that you would like to be a guest on The Solution and provide something about teams, because obviously this is very team, like we're introducing new models or something industry leading training, we are looking for guests, right? But we want to make sure that you got the stats to prove it.
Yes.
Right. Not just people that are out. I mean, the industry's too full of people that are just wanting to talk about their this or that without selling any houses, and we want people that sell houses. And because the Gluch Group is out there killing it, we're excited to have him today.
And he's back.
I'm back. Sorry. Thanks. Yeah, my charger.
Playing a commercial.
Yeah.
I figured you guys could probably figure out a way to talk for a few minutes. I'm sure you know how to do that. So
yeah.
Maybe he's heard the podcast before.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Back on. Did you get him switched back on?
Okay.
All right. Great. Cool. Where were we? So we were talking about
the employee model.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's great, but there's a reason not everybody does it. And
is it workers' comp or is it unemployment?
Well, they're not technically employees. They're independent contractors.
It's the Joanne Callaway model. Are you familiar with that one?
Which one?
Joanne Callaway's model.
Yeah, I think there's some similarities there from what I know. Yeah.
Where everybody gets a piece of the pie when it closes or whatever.
Yep, absolutely. So everybody on our team gets a profit share. That's everybody, admin, the whole gang. So but I think what I'm learning is, and there's different stages, right? Different evolutions of you as a leader too. part of what I'm wanting to do now is more just benefit, more people, just be a part of helping encourage and helping other people grow in a new way, which we haven't been able to do with our current model.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to talk lastly. I mean, I love that you kind of set up our agenda today.
Yeah, thank
and
you
that
for
is
that.
the reasons why you are successful. And the last one is the team, is the people that you've hired.
Mm-hmm.
And we get asked this question by team members. We get asked this question by other teams that we talk to. And that is, how do you find, you said that you hired amazing people.
Yeah.
How many non-amazing people did you have to go through before you found the amazing people? Or what's your filter process?
Well, if you want to see it, if you just go to my Facebook, we're about to post our next recruiting link. So you can just literally go through it. I think you'd love it. It works incredibly well. And here's the process. I'll walk you through it. Darren Hardy taught me that. You know who Darren Hardy is? He's a
Compound Effect all day long.
Yeah, I've listened to his CDs about a little over 100 times. Yeah. I mean, I stopped 4 years ago, but I mean, I was obsessed with it in my car. Go ahead.
Yeah. He is a good friend and mentor, and he taught me this process. And the way it works is you post a single simple page on what you're looking for. So this could be administrator. In my case, I'm recruiting agents right now. So agents. And it's just got a video of me explaining what we're looking for. Like, here's the kind of person we're looking for. And it's really about the heart of what we do. There's some of the skills, of course, like you're recruiting whatever you're recruiting. If someone's going to be an admin, they need to know how to be an admin. But
Right.
It's more about, here's who we are and what we believe. That's really the content of that video. And then the next step is, if they're interested, they have to click apply. We do this on Indeed, all the different hiring platforms. The way those platforms work is people can just click apply, and then it'll automatically send their resume to whatever employer is recruiting. We don't want that. Like, I'm not interested in someone being able to apply for this job by clicking a button. Like, that's way too easy, right? So they click apply now. What happens then is they get taken to a Survey Monkey that they fill out with some basic information, name, information, Facebook profile, whatever. And then they answer a few questions about different skill sets they have and all that. And that's it. It takes 5 minutes. Super simple. The next step is where we really filter people out. And the next step is we ask them to send us a video, a 3-minute video of why they're awesome. So they need to film a video of themselves and then put it on a video sharing platform. So
You're attracting young people then? Only because it seems like the younger audience is more, with the Instagram and all that.
Yeah.
There's no discrimination here.
We got. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
3-minute video. Go ahead.
Yeah, the goal is not necessarily to filter out a certain age, but it is to filter out. If you can't figure out how to film a video of yourself and put it on YouTube, you're probably not going to be a great fit for our team. That has nothing to do with age, has everything to do with the way we roll, like with the world we live in. So we're a virtual team. I will even live in Arizona. Like, that's going to be a problem for you if you can't figure out how to work the video on your phone. You know what I'm saying?
What's the question for them? Why they
Why you're awesome.
Why they're awesome.
Why they're awesome.
Yeah.
And we're specific about how they should do it. So don't send me a video attachment, put it on a video sharing site and send me the link. And you'll be shocked at how many people cannot follow simple instructions. And we don't even, it's a non-starter. Yeah. If you can't, especially if it's an admin job,
right?
If you're an administrator and you can't figure out like instructions, basic instructions, that's not going to work. We're going to have problems. So, and then they send these videos in. And so that will filter down, out of however many people, I don't know what the percentages are, but by the time they get a video sent to you, now it solves so many problems. But you're going to see right away, is there a rapport? Is there a connection? Is this person presentable? And so now you've just done so much work for you without having to spend a single minute of time.
Yeah. So do you have a strong enough presence that you don't have to advertise that, or do you have a budget and then you promote it?
No, we budget it. So we put all of our social media channels, of course, and we'll run paid ads on social media to all of our custom audience, our people who know, like, and trust us. We email our vendors, our whole database. Everybody gets emailed. And then we run ads on Indeed.
I like it.
Yeah. And that way, we want to cast the funnel as wide as we can. But the other part of it is before they send the video, I say, hey, here's a bunch of links of interviews I've done, talks I've done. And what we're wanting them to do is to learn more about us before they bother applying. So if you can't watch 30 minutes worth of videos of me speaking at events and stuff and have something to say about that, then
oh no, I laugh at I guess our flawed interview process after hearing that, where because
we're just early.
We're early.
learning.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
still learning.
Because when they come in and you're like, well, have you been online? Have you, like,
No.
no.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, you didn't Google us at all? Like, you didn't watch? Have you been to Seabach.com? What do you mean?
Right. What's that? Who's Seabach? Never heard of him. Yeah.
No, but it is about culture, because I think you have it appears to me again that you have very strong culture.
Yeah.
And I think that you're just trying to prepare them to see if they fit to that. Am I wrong?
That's totally it. I mean, at the end of the day, this is our team. We're with these people every day. The most important thing is that we all jive, that we're all, on the same, we do trips together. We have fun events together. So I'd rather grow slowly and make sure we have the right people than grow too quickly. And people love it. I tell you, even the people who don't get hired at the end, it's probably half dozen people say, man, like, I really appreciated the process that you guys took us through, because it's intentional and it's unique. It's not like anybody else is doing, and it honors people. Like, we honor their time. We care about them. They honor our time in the process. And there's something inherent in people that respects that. And they like that we had a unique way of doing it.
Nice. I like that. I think that's something that we'll put into practice around here sooner than later.
Yeah. I mean, just go through my funnel and you'll see exactly how it works, and just copy it. I mean, it's great.
So I know I have two other topics.
I have one inside of that. You have other topics? Yeah. So how real estate teams are burdened with attrition and turnover, right? So what do you do anything specifically? Only because where's the three things? Where's the
team, coaching, and
amazing people? Yeah. So how is your retention rate, or just speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so really good. We keep people for a long time, but here's the way I started from the very beginning. This is easier said than done, but I decided early on, I heard that Apple was really great at taking people who come to work at the Apple stores who want to be a photographer. So they're not going to work at Apple for their whole life. They're on their way somewhere else, and they stop into Apple, and Apple helps equip them with sales skills, interpersonal skills, conflict management skills, and that helps them achieve their dream of being like a photographer. And I decided early on I wanted that to be the way we ran our team, is that if I was just a stopping place for the next thing they were going to do, them to achieve their dreams, that I was going to be okay with that. In fact, I was going to be excited about it. And so I just decided that early on. And so we've had people leave for, that were, in fact, one person leave and he helped another real estate team to develop their business. So took all the stuff that we did together.
Isn't that great?
Now implementing yeah, right. So that happens, and it's a little internally, you're like, oh, there's a little bit of you that, is in pain about that. But here's the thing.
The next guy extra hard.
It's actually why we joined our current brokerage, so we can still benefit even when that happens.
Yeah, which is so cool. But I think that as I really thought about it, that role he's at in this next place is really better for him. Like what he was having to do at our team inhibited some of his dreams, and this new team is allowing him to do some things that he couldn't do at our team. And so I honestly am. This didn't happen overnight, but after some processing, I was excited that I was able to be a part of that dream getting achieved. And so I look at it a little differently. That's not to say there aren't times. I've had some people leave who it was just plain painful, and it was
to me, it's more of that you're at stage 3. You're at stage 3 of the team leader, where now you're like, it's gonna happen. Learn. Accept it, and then actually appreciate it, that it's just part of the process. Sorry for cutting you off there.
No, it's true. And the better I do it, a couple of things. One is I want everybody on my team to know that, because I don't want to be the last one to know someone's leaving. I want to be the first one to know someone's thinking about leaving. And so if I create an environment where people feel comfortable coming to me and saying, one of my team members said they were having a really hard time. They had some things in their life they were trying to accomplish, where coming into the office every day wasn't going to work for them. And they were having a really hard time. And this person, I didn't care at all if they worked from home 2 days a week, and it changed their life. It was like a no-brainer. So I'm just so glad that we created an environment, a culture where people feel comfortable coming to me instead of just quitting,
Right.
And that's not to say it always happens perfectly. I'm not trying to paint some rosy picture, but the more you can be, open and honest about that, the better. And we have really good retention. I mean, we keep, some of our folks have been around for years, 5 years, one of them who we just celebrated this year. And that guy is amazing. I mean, I hope he never leaves, My goal isn't for our job to be this job to be the last job they have, but it is my goal that it would be the best job they ever have. That if they leave, and I've had this happen. They call me a year later and they're like, hey, what you're doing is awesome, man. Like, thank you for the way you helped me get from where I was to where I wanted to be. And it's one of the best jobs I've ever had. That's always the goal. Now, if they stay around a long time, awesome. Of course, that's wonderful, but it's not necessarily my goal.
No, I was
Nice.
I like that you embrace it and the way that you presented it, and I firmly believe that that's just the best way to go about it. So well done.
Yeah, and like
I love the idea. I've shared the idea with the fact that it's a stepping stone.
Yeah.
And we don't know, like, we're all on a path, right? And there's stepping stones that you're on for some periods of time that are longer than shorter than others. But the goal of that stone is to get better when you get to the next stone.
Yeah, totally.
That's people that are on our team. That's people that work with us. That's right.
In your world, are the stones rounded because from the water? Just
yeah, they're flat.
Oh,
they're
okay,
flat.
okay.
They're round flat. But so I want to talk. I just want to get to the consumer side of this podcast. And I know that we've talked about it, and you have people that know, love, and trust you, know, like, and trust you, whichever phrase it is. I can't remember. My apologies. But what are you doing with your team, with your clients, where it's improving the skill set of the agent that's working with them, where you're trying to bring a better baseball player onto the field rather than just sell better concessions in the stands? Like, you know, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think the industry's really shifted to, I am hiring now, especially agents, I'm hiring people for their emotional intelligence, their EQ, rather than almost anything else, because our role so much is that of a counselor, almost above everything else, right? I can teach someone how to negotiate, how to write contracts, all that other stuff, but you have to walk people through very difficult circumstances, especially when you do a lot of business with strangers like we do. Half of our business is from people we never met. And some of those people are very difficult to work with, and it's not their fault. Like, nobody woke up this morning trying to be a jerk, you know, like they may actually be a jerk, but they are.
You get those people too? That's
awesome.
Like,
nobody wants to be a jerk. And so we have 3 core values: honor, hope, and excellence. The honor one is the one that I'm hiring for in this respect, which is, can you treat people really well when they treat you crappy? Like, nobody, the principle is, nobody controls my honor but me. So the fact that you treat me really terribly today does not mean I have an excuse to treat you poorly. Like, it doesn't work that way. Nothing you do is going to control how much I honor you, how much I respect you. And people talk about, it's easy to honor people when they, like, you guys are very honorable people. You're honoring me. It's easy for me to say, oh, you guys are great. Honor really only shows up, like all core values, when it costs you something. That's when you know you honor someone. When they treat you crap, you know whether you honor them, because how do you respond when they treat you poorly? And so for me, yes, we teach the skills, right? All the skills of being a good realtor, but that stuff's easy. What's way more important to me is when people leave our team, they buy a house, they sell a house, or they just go to some other realtor, that they felt like they got honored. That's the most important thing, because that's honoring the dignity and the integrity and the God-given spirit we all have. If they can walk away a little closer to knowing that they matter as people and that we will care about them no matter how they treat us, then we won. You know, to me, that's the most important part of what we do, is that people feel like they were important and they mattered when they leave our ecosphere. That's the goal.
Yeah, I love it, because the pairing statement that we say that's similar to that is, I told my wife, if I only worked with the people that I like, we would only do 1/5 the amount of business. Except that he takes it another step further, because he's like, you have to then not just help them, but you have to do it with honor, and that was beautiful. Yeah,
with kindness. Yes.
I mean, it is hard when you're, I was at a listening appointment earlier this morning, and I was like, this is gonna be awesome, right? Like, thinking like I have to. No, but it's hard to hold that quality of experience in the face of adversity.
Yeah,
And congratulations for you for conquering that.
And I'm not saying, I'm always very clear with my team. I remind them of this often. It is never okay to be disrespectful to someone on my team. We will not tolerate that under any circumstance. If you're going to curse at my team, if you're going to, like, I am a Papa Bear to the, like, if you're going to be disrespectful, that's not going to work. And we have a hard conversation, and if it doesn't change, we move on,
Nice. Yep.
But that's rare. I mean, that's 1 in 100, maybe. More often than not, it's someone had a bad day or a bad year, and it's our purpose to help them walk
A tough
through
life.
yeah, right. So for me, that's a huge part of how we get better as agents. Is just learning how to walk with people through hard stuff, and through your offer didn't get accepted, and all the various things that we have to do as agents. To me, that's so critical, and it's a big part of who we are.
So with the other one that you mentioned of excellence,
Yeah,
what do you do to help your agents achieve it?
So for me, so much of excellence is about creating systems to compensate for our weaknesses as people. So, for example,
Whoa. Those are a lot of big words in a row.
I want you to say that
Yeah,
again.
slow it down, please.
That was
Say it
beautiful.
again.
all right. So for me, excellence is compensating for our weaknesses as people. So,
Systems.
yep, creating systems to compensate for our weaknesses as people. So, I want to be a good dad, and I want to spend time playing with my kids.
I think
But
good too. Yeah, go ahead.
I will naturally default to watching Netflix and ignoring them, right? Because I'm a terrible person, right? So
Because you're human.
yeah, exactly.
And you're a guy, and
Yeah.
it just feels great.
You're gonna forget.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one, apparently. So what I do is I measure time I spend with my kids, which sounds totally crazy, but I like tracking. It's like how much time did I spend intentionally playing with my kids today? So that's an example of a system that compensates for my weakness as a person. We do that with our agents too. So we have checklists for everything. We're just crazy about checklists. Like every offer.
Are you like a checklist manifesto guy? Or?
Yeah, like that guy, right? You could be a surgeon who's the best in the world, but without a checklist, you might mess something up, and that's a big deal. And so for us, we take all the accumulated wisdom that we've generated as agents and we put it into checklists. And I'm crazy about it. Every time something new happens that we learn, we have a new lesson we experience. Like an example is we have this tool called the Experience Transformer. We got that from Strategic Coach. Every time we have an offer that goes really well or goes really poorly, we review it. What went well? What went poorly? So this is Experience Transformer. What worked? Like we just had a big event, team event. We did it for that. Surveyed everyone on the team, 450 people at this big barbecue. What went great? What didn't go so great? What could we change to make it better next time? That simple, right? Answer that, 3 points on each one. We do that when we miss out on an offer. We do that when we beat 10 other offers. And you do that enough times and you start to realize there's a formula for how to make these things work. And so and as long as people follow the system, now, we get, if you're up against us on a multiple offer situation, you're probably not going to win. And that's not because necessarily we're the best. It's because we've decided that over time we're going to put all these things into a checklist and make sure that we don't miss anything next time.
So do the EQ, I'm thinking this profile, follow the checklist well?
Yeah, so you can find, like for example, DISC. Are you saying does every personality follow the?
Well, because the EQ, I mean, when you're looking to hire people with that emotional expertise, it's hard to get them to like Phil is a straight line guy, and I'm more on the EQ side.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can't follow a checklist. Mauricio, not a checklist guy, right? Like, but really good at the emotional. No, but really good at the emotional, right? Like he could, like you could yell at him and he's still gonna be good to you. Like it does, yeah.
So again, it's the same thing. Create a system to compensate for the human weakness. So what we do is we have, this might sound crazy, but it's true. We have overseas employees. We have several people in the Philippines and several in India, and one of their jobs is to make sure that people in the U.S. are following the checklist. So on the back end, like being the guy who goes, "Hey, you didn't get that task done. Hey, that due date is falling behind." Like he's the cop, behind the system. You have to have a system that's that transparent, which we do. We use a program called Asana, ASANA. It's our digital task management system, and it's got full transparency. And so all the people on our team have assistants overseas, and one of their assistants' jobs is to make sure they follow the checklist. I'm not saying it's perfect all the time. Don't get me wrong. It's easy to say all this and make it sound like we never screw up. We do, and some of our agents. If they got
John, we work in real estate as well.
Right?
And nothing in real estate is perfect all the time.
Yeah, I'm giving you the ideal, but
yes,
we do it a lot. I mean, most of the time, that's how it's going. So
yep.
Yeah.
So I don't know, Jeff. I know that we're as we're wrapping up here on time. There was a story that Jeff wanted to tell, and it was about losing a listing.
Oh, I was
to
thought you were going to
Mr.
ask him
John
where
Gluch.
his barbecue was. 450 people at the barbecue.
McCormick Park. I already know that.
Okay,
Do your
all right, good
research.
deal.
Was it a
All right,
park?
so John, there was a point in our life that we crossed, and it was
Okay.
actually one of the momentous points ever. But I don't know that you
For the Seabach team.
For the Seabach team.
Yeah.
So we were competing against you, and you won. So congratulations, great job. But the weird thing is, that, as you said, that you learn more from losses. We lost, but we because
I yelled at Jeff at the listing appointment at the guy's kitchen table, and I think that might have been why we lost.
yeah. Phil turns to me as I'm going through the presentation, and it's a 350 house in South Scottsdale, and it's us against you, and he's like, "That's it," and I'm like, the guy is like right there. He's talking to me as if we were like.
So this was the time in our pricing strategy when we would give the owner of the house the price that the house was going to sell for.
Uh-huh.
And
I thought it was this brilliant idea that I would tell people what they were really going to net and that they were going to be happy with it and go with us. And they didn't like it a lot.
And this gentleman who was sitting at the table when Jeff said, and I think your house is going to sell for 327 or whatever number he gave out. And he goes, well, the other guy told me that they would list it at 360.
Uh-huh.
And I said, that's it. That's the difference. And I'm looking at Jeff and I said, you're telling people what their house is going to sell for. And other agents are telling them what they'll list their house for. And there's always a difference. We're always lower price, and people just can't, they don't want to hear the difference.
So we're going to have to send them a gift because of that moment, which occurred of you winning and us losing, the next year we listed
more houses. We changed our strategy.
We doubled the amount of listings that we got.
Yeah.
So
Thanks. Happy to help.
I mean, better listing agent. So
you look at it like, even me, right? If I'm going to sell my car, I'm going to probably price it high and see what happens, because I don't know, I'm not in a huge hurry to sell my car. If it doesn't sell tomorrow, whatever, so we just try to address the people where they're at, like some people, they got to sell tomorrow. That's a different strategy. But yeah, I mean, like, at the end of the day, people want to give stuff a try. They want to see how it goes, especially in this market. So,
yeah, no doubt. I mean, have you seen any? I know we got to wrap up, but any squeeze on the listing side as there's less inventory?
Well, I'm out in California where listing fees are lower, 5% now. The houses are more expensive, so that's part of it.
No, I meant squeeze as in less listings with the loss of it.
Yeah, I mean we're having a slower year, no question about it. So, so it's. You got to be able to pivot, and thankfully we've built ourselves pretty lean. We can pivot, but and we've got we're working on title stuff and mortgage, and we're working on different angles of the business to try to kind of compensate. But at the end of the day, it's definitely slower, no question. So
awesome. Well, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show.
Yeah, great to see you guys.
Yeah, John, thank you. That was tremendous. 1, 2, 3.
I looked down the clock.
Yeah.
Time.
Well, he was great. Thank you so much. We appreciate you sharing.
You bet. Hey, great to see you guys. Thanks for everything. Congrats on all your success. You're doing awesome work, and glad you're getting to help so many customers. That's awesome.
And good deal. And if you're looking to join a team, give the Gluch group a call.
Yeah.
Right? Like, no. Send them a video. Right?
Yes.
And follow the instructions.
Send them a link.
Oh, a link.
Upload the video.
Yeah, link to the video. Don't send the video.
Follow the instructions on his Facebook page.
Yeah, go to my find me on Facebook or johngluch.com, and just kind of, would love to interact with you, get to know you a little bit. I respond to all the Facebook messages and all that stuff. So shoot a message on Facebook, and our link will be up soon for our team growth and all that. So I'd love to get to know you. Absolutely.
Awesome. Happy
Thank
Thursday.
you, John.
Take care, John.
Appreciate it.